Yo guys, what's up? It's me and I'm back with another video, and today I got for you something a little bit different because today, as you can see, I'm making a video called the free-for-all guide. Well, I have some spare V2 rockets, so I decided to use them for this specific purpose because, I remember when I was beginning, I was looking for tips to actually get better at the game, but there was just no such a video that would explain the game as a whole, Like, you could find tips and tricks videos explaining a specific aspect of the game, but I just want to put it all together to one video and hopefully answer some of your questions you might be asking yourself. So I actually split this video up to some different factors, I would say, but I have the list on my phone, so just go along with me. And I promise y'all, your questions will be answered. And if not, definitely post your questions down in the comments and we will get all into that. By the way, in the background, as I said, there are some spare V2 rockets. So let me get into the point number one, because there is really one thing you have to really realize, to be honest, before you quote unquote get on a road to get better at Call of Duty. And that is, connection. And I don't even know, bro, connection, people cheating, people doing all sorts of shit, people hosting, that's always going to be a factor in Call of Duty. This is just the way the game works. I know it's not ideal, and also in the game there's shit that is OP, shit that is less OP, then you have like stuff like bouncing betties, etc, etc. So this kind of a stuff are the factors you cannot really, you can really do shit about it. Like, obviously you can buy a Supreme Internet, you can use the most OP gun there is, kind of you can do something about it. But I truly believe, well, actually, that would just scratch what I said, bro. Like, the thing is that I believe that, if you really have the skill, you can win every gunfight. I know it sounds foolish, but let me put it this way, hypothetically, if there is a kid who can hit all headshot, 100% accuracy, he should be able to outgun pretty much anybody who is who is not as good as him. I know it's a really bad example, but hopefully you are just following what I'm saying. Essentially, the message of this point is that, a lot of people when they play, they have the presumption that their game is just perfect, like they can't do anything wrong, and that is the problem with most players, in my opinion, because you always make mistakes, it's completely normal. As you saw in my last upload, I just picked one of my games and literally showed you my mistake. Like, I'm not trying to sit here and tell you, okay bro, I can get V2 rockets, I'm the best, I'm perfect. That's not really how it is. I make mistakes and I'm trying to learn from them, and I want to encourage you guys to do the same thing. So, from now on, just stop thinking about different connections, stop thinking about shit like that. Obviously, if the game is lagging or you can feel significantly that something is going wrong, it's just fine to leave the game, in my opinion. So that's kind of the first factor. Like, if you really play with the feeling that your game is perfect and the only way you die is just because of factors you cannot do shit about, first of all, you will get frustrated. Second of all, you will not probably get what you want in the game. So that's what I wanted to put out there. But now it kind of brings me to the second point that I wanted to talk about, and that is, most importantly, gun skill, bro. Gun skill, in my eyes, is the core of everything, bro. Like, you can have the best strategy in the flipping game, like you can play this shit perfectly, but it all comes down to simple gunfights. So I encourage you guys to work on your gun skill, like play GBs, play bots, whatever works for you, just do it to make sure your gun skill is just always improving, you're always getting better. So make sure y'all do that. And actually, on this note, I'm gonna stop a little bit because, a lot of people believe that, when you get control freaks, when you get scuff controllers, etc, etc, it will 100% make you better. I actually talked about this in one of my videos, and I'm the believer that is there is really some science behind control freaks, in my opinion. If you look at it, if you make your own opinion, yeah, kind of. It could help you a little bit, hypothetically. But for me personally, I was playing with control freaks and without them, and it was just, the thing was when I wasn't playing enough, the control freak wouldn't really replace the grind, so in my opinion, the equipment, it's kind of irrelevant. A lot of players, a lot of great pop stompers just use the regular controller, so I don't really think it's needed. And in terms of SCUF controllers, I mean, I was using SCUFs before. I do not use a SCUF controller at this point. What I enjoyed about these controllers was that you could really customize the thumbsticks and you could get grips, but I don't really feel like a SCUF controller is going to like make a, let's say, 0.9 KD player, a 3 KD player, you know, in a day. It just doesn't work like that. So I just wanted to point this out, but back to my point, grind as much as possible. Know that it's basically not about the equipment, as I've explained a little while ago. That's the word I was looking for. So definitely keep that in mind and constantly keep working on your fucking gun skill. And that brings me to another point, which is strategy. Like, you have to have some mentality going to the game. So that's what I'm trying to say. Like, whenever I play free-for-all, man, my tongue is just fucking twisting as hell. So bear with me, guys. Every time I play FFA, I have a strategy. The strategy is, I'm gonna share it with y'all. As I said in my video before, and I've said it over a million times in my uploads, probably the best way to play free-for-all is to find the spots on the map. Like, if you look at those maps and you have a little bit of experience in the game, you can figure out which are the highest traffic areas, and you need to find a spot that is beneficial, has enough cover near those high traffic areas. Obviously, you don't want to be stuck in the high traffic area because, you know, there is the risk that you could be challenged by multiple people. So find a spot that is comfortable to you, make sure there's enough traffic for you to get kills constantly, and just find multiple spots. That's really important, and just circulate, you know, between those spots. I've explained it a little bit in my previous upload when I showed you my gameplay. I showed you like basically what I'm trying to say here on an example. And if you pay attention when I'm like posting my FFA V2 rockets, you can really see it in those gameplays. The reason for actually switching up the spots is very simple. The thing is that, you know, when you kill players over and over again on the way for your V2 rocket, they will kind of figure out your spot, figure out the area where you are. So you have to constantly keep them guessing, constantly switch it up a little bit, go there, just back on up, you know, switch the side of the map, so they can be really prepared for your gunfight and etc, etc. So that actually gives you a higher chance to survive. So definitely keep the strategy. And what is really important, and I think it really comes from your experience in the game, is that being able to make little adjustments on the fly. I like to call this tactics. I don't know if it's the official term, quote unquote, but you know, the way I would put it the best is that, you know, I have a certain strategy, but when I play the game and I see specifically how the game is going, let's say I have a newbie team, I know I can do whatever the fuck I want, bro, because I know that I'm a good player, quote unquote, you know, you can think whatever you want. I think that I'm a good player and I can outgun everybody in the lobby. Then I just can fucking sit mid-map and be a fucking turret and get a fast V2 rocket. So that's kind of my mentality. You have to really adjust your game plan to the specific situation, but at the same time, keep a strategy that you are trying to follow through your game. So that's kind of how I approached the game since the beginning of times, bro. When I was playing, let's say when I was playing MW3 and I was getting fast Moabs, my goal, and actually I'm getting to my next point, which is kind of how it kind of all works for Respawn, because in this video I just wanted to cover it, even though it's called the FFA guide. But if you are really listening to me for 9 minutes, I think you deserve to know some shit about Respawn. So the goal in solo pop stomping and in pop stomping in general in Respawn, it's to get a fucking spawn trap. So the best way in my opinion to do it, you know, in TDM you just have to outslay the team and make sure your team has some mid-map possession, I would say, and then you can kind of pinpoint the spawns and just go for it. You know, in IW, when I was mostly playing basically TDM, it's not really a hard task to do. You know, the spawns in IW were kind of cool. They flipped a little bit, but it was kind of manageable. But what I want to talk about, what I think it's a really good example, is Domination. In Domination, it's really simple. Like, you don't really have to care about all the little, like, pinpoint exact spawning spots, the best thing I like to do is just to keep B and C or B or A. Like any of those two combinations, it's perfect. Like make sure your enemy has one flag and they will spawn in the area around the flag. So at that point you are playing the objective, you are getting points for that. At the same time, you should be able to hold the spawn trap. That will allow you to get fast gameplays, that will allow you to just have a better time, higher score per minute, higher fucking KD ratio. That's basically what you are trying to accomplish. And you know, on the note of the fast gameplays, I'ma just tell you this, bro. Like, I know a lot of people actually who go for fast gameplays, they lack consistency. And what I'm gonna say about that is that, you know, the high pace, it's amazing. Like when I see things are going my way, I just risk it. I don't care about my health. I'm just going in for multi-kills, like I'm trying to outslay everybody. But that's not really a good habit when you are trying to be consistent, because you know, when you're trying to be consistent, you really have to take care of your health. So that's kind of the one little point that I wanted to mention. Definitely make sure you'll take care of your health. If your goal is to get a fucking fast Moab V2 rocket, I don't even know, then just go full berserk, keep your spawn trap, and I think you'll be good. So that's kind of the basic layout, I would say, that I use, that you need to know. Obviously, you know, as you get more and more experienced, you'll be able to make more precise adjustments for your, I don't know, style of play, for the specific game modes, etc, etc. And I think that's kind of it for today's video. So let me know if I've missed something important. Let me know if you disagree with me, if you agree with me, what is your input on the situation. I want to thank you for watching this video all the way to this point. Before I go though, don't forget to check out the channel of the team that I pop stomp for, which is Abstract Pop Stomping, and if you feel like it, please check out some of the videos I did earlier. That has been everything though, and I'ma see y'all with my another upload.